So now we're going to go to New York, up in Irvington, where the Waste No More factory, which is run by its art director, Sigi Ahl, in collaboration with her close team, including Abigail Erickson and Carmen Gama, who are going to be joining us today. They're going to be giving us an insight into this incredible process of felting pre-loved garments from EILEEN Fisher's clients. Please welcome Sigi Ahl from the Waste No More studio in New York, in upstate New York.
So I say hello to everyone. We're here on a Saturday morning in New York in our tiny factory, which is not that tiny. As you will see, we will make a tour for you through the factory. But before we do so, I want to give you like a picture overview of what we are actually doing. And I guess I'd start right away with the pictures. Let me pick up right with the last part of the video. So what we do here is the third life of the garments. We also have the second life, which is also interesting, but maybe we talk about that another time. So here at Waste No More, we use all the damaged garments that are not fit to be worn anymore. And in the past years, we have experimented a lot about techniques and technologies, and we decided to focus on the needle felting technology that Philip has already mentioned a bit, because it was very promising, the first experiments, and what they go. So what you've seen, this is the last part of that shows the third life. We have experimented with needle felting technology, and it's actually a technology that is out in the fields, in the industry, and also in the recycle industry. It's been used since decades, in fact. They realized early that this could be also good for recycling. They've been recycling like 40 years ago already, cotton and denim, and shredded it. But what this industry does is downcycling old garments. And what we actually do is we're using this technology in a different way. We're using it for upcycling garments. We're using it actually as a design tool, and the fabric that results from it suggests to be used as you see here, wallworks, what we call wallworks, home accessories, and fashion accessories. When we came out 3 years ago, meanwhile, in Milan 2018, we made a statement about the textile waste, and we decided to feature our wallworks mainly because they are visually so impactful and could display in a grand way the innovative and novel aesthetics that could be obtained by using this technology. So we had this show, and so I want to show you now what we do here now with all those fabrics. So first of all, we do paintings. You can consider them paintings with old clothes. And we actually sell those as artworks, collector's items. Here are a few examples of different ways to, like, different design processes, as I label them. This is a piece from our figurative series. These are small objects hanging at a wall. This is one, things like this we do, smaller ones framed, we've done for hotel commissions. We have, we also do now wall works for public and interior residential spaces. So these are some examples for residential space. This is a Miami-Dade new building that was just recently finished, an installation photo. This is a cafeteria in the New Columbus, in New York City, the Columbia University new campus in Harlem. From the wallworks, we come to our fabrics. Each fabric we produce here now, and it's actually only 2 people who make those fabrics. It is Ashley and me. I will talk more about that later. So before we cut up our fabrics into product or whatever it needs to be, we photograph them to have a document. And these are some examples. We're going from fabrics to our home accessories. Our jolly yellow pillow, and this is a collection we're coming out soon. Here are some of our art pillows. They are very small and just there to be pretty. These are bigger ones. Here's some example for upholstery. We haven't done much yet, but mean to in the future. Fashion accessories. So this works really well because we are a fashion company. This is being offered on our ef.com site. And this is a denim collection from last summer. And we do this again. It turned out to be really well and useful. This backpack I'm wearing since 1 year and it still looks like new. And I'm very pleased to see that it's holding up so well. This is a collection of cell phone zipper bags, which are very useful for urban lifestyle. Totes. We're also working with clothes. It's a little more difficult. The fabric is, as you can imagine, has more felt-like quality, and it is so we're working on that to make it like a little more flowy for the clothes. This is a construction question also, but these are just 2 examples. Let me see where I am. I'm almost through. I want to introduce you to our team. We are a very little team, especially now. Our team has slimmed down during the pandemic. It was a difficult time for us, like for everyone else. We are now just 6 people. Four people are the core team. This is Ashley. She's on maternity leave right now. Otherwise, I would have loved her to speak about the work, the design work at the machine. She and I are working on this machine. This is she laying out a fabric for the yellow pillows, by the way. Here she lies on a day's work. This is Elizabeth, our sorter. I think later on, Abigail will speak a little bit about the process of what's all needed to make this fabric come together. Elizabeth is amazingly skilled, and we have so many fibers like linen, silk, wool, cotton, hemp. she just needs to touch the fabric and knows what it is. And it is important that she does, because we have an inventory of over 70,000 units, and sort everything by design categories. That's the way we need it for our work. So by fiber, by color, by construction. And she knows that in and out, like just by the touch of her fingers. Olgarina, she's fantastic. She's a sewer, and we're also training her into fabric making because we need more people. So far, it's only Ashley and I who know how to build the fabric. And I'm saying build because it's a new way to make fabric. I found no better term yet. But she also sews. Suwani also, all these sewers are so skilled. Here we have Faibun and Sophia working on the hat. It's a new fabric, and it's challenging for sewers to add this to their knowledge and experience. They are just amazing. Thanks to them, we have backpacks and cell phone bags that hold up also, like really for a long time. Rossi Bell, all of them are masters. Carmen. So Carmen is our designer and develops the construction for the product. But since we're a small team, you see here, we're basically wearing many hats, like we're doing everything. Here she's packing and tagging the yellow pillows. You will meet her later when she talks a little bit about her work. That's Abigail, the project manager, resting for a couple of minutes before she's back out. And last not least, this is EILEEN Fisher, who makes this all possible. Okay, so back to me. Are you seeing me?
Yeah, perfect, Sigi.
Okay. I see you later in a little bit, but now I will bring you to Abigail, and I walk there. It's quite a walk, and I'm alone in here in this office. And while I walk, you will see a little bit of our spaces. Let me show you quickly the Hudson River. We are just 40 minutes up from New York City. It's a different world out here. It's beautiful. This is, by the way, a historic factory. It's built by Stanford White in the 1880s, who actually stamped a lot of the Manhattan picture, a big architect in the 19th century. Oh, photography station. I'm going now into the factory part. And here we have Abigail.
Hi, everyone. I'm Abigail Erickson. I'm Sigi's project manager. I'm going to explain a little bit more. I'm going to show you around the factory, get a little bit more into our process. As Sigi may have mentioned, we actually have a lot of businesses that are really combined into one that make up our supply chain. So we're just going to explain that a little further. I'm just going to lead you to the factory. Over here is where our sewers work. I'm going to lead you to our sorting area. It's really where it all begins for us. So as you can see, I'm surrounded by, there we go, color sorted garments. So this is where Elizabeth works. She's our full-time sorter. She has refined her craft so much that she can identify the garments by touch. So as Sigi mentioned, we have categories that she sorts into. So color is really important to us, fiber content, construction. So she sorts all of the cleaned garments into categories, and then they go into our inventory system. Our inventory system is something new. We used to do it all manual. It was very labor intensive and there was a lot of room for human error. We've recently started working with a system about 1.5 years ago called Fishbowl. So everything is, all the garments are scanned into our inventory system once they've been sorted, and then they go into our shelves in our inventory. So when we get a commissioned order or when we're making a project for our EILEEN Fisher stores, we're able to go into that inventory system and see, for example, how many red merino wool lightweight sweaters we have. And then we can determine how much we can produce off of that. What's really nice about the system as well is that it allows us to know exactly where that specific garment is placed in our studio with the shelf number. So there's no more guesswork. And it's really allowed us to streamline our processes as we look at scaling our business. All of our garments are cleaned before they come to us. So they go to a company in Colorado. We just started working with them this year. They do waterless clean sort. So as Sigi mentioned, as you may have seen in the video, the garments that can be resold go to our renew team, but the garments that are damaged come back to us. That's the inventory that we're most interested in. Then when the garments are sorted and they're on the shelves and we have an order, we pull the garments and they're deconstructed by our sewers. And then from there, we remove the trims, the hardware, anything that could break the needles, depending on the design. Sometimes we want to see the shape of the garment and sometimes we don't. We'll cut them into geometric squares. So it really depends. That happens at our sewing machines, and then the materials go to our felting machine, which you'll see operating shortly here. Before we take you to the felting, I'm going to take you over to the design table to speak with Carmen. She's our designer and production manager, and she's going to talk a little bit more about our product. We create all of our fabrics with the end use in mind. So knowing what we're going to produce the fabric for is very important before we produce the fabric. So I'm just going to lead you through these beautiful, colorful piles of cotton that have already been sorted and are ready to go into inventory. Over to Carmen, who's
Hi, everybody.
Working at the design table.
Is that fine? Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Carmen Gama. I'm the design and production manager for Waste No More. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our design process. Basically, our fabrics really inform what we can do, right? And vice versa. The designs that we choose informs how the fabrics are made. Right now, we are focused on making, like accessories, home goods, and Sigi Ahl, who's our creative director, she makes these beautiful wall hangings. But for us, we have done a couple of different things here. We've done, these like cross shoulder bags that they're very simple. Our styles are very simple and minimal because we really just want to show the beauty of the fabric, right? We have these. This is one of kind of our best sellers, our phone pouch, which is you can just like put anything here across. You just carry your phone around. We also have done some backpacks. This is kind of like a CD backpack. And also just to talk a little bit about how we're doing these, everything is done in-house. We have a team of sewers like Sigi was showing them. They're actually very well trained sewers. We trained them in the beginning because they came to us without really not knowledge on how to sew felting fabric. And now they've become like experts in it because it's not very easy to sew these. All of our accessories are actually lined with our own pins, our own EILEEN Fisher pins. So we deconstruct all of our pins till we have actual fabric, and then we use it as lining because we are trying to use as much of the materials that we have in-house to create our product. And also another thing that we are like exploring currently is, and this is actually really fascinating that we're exploring how to make like house slippers in-house, right? We're developing with the same fabric that we use for our denim collection. We're actually testing it to make house slippers, and everything is sewn here at our studio. So there's a lot of development still that we have to do these, but that's something that we're actually really excited and might be coming soon to the doors. The other thing that we're testing on a scalable manner is that we're partnering with our shoe vendors, right? We're like shipping them like fabric, and they're like experimenting and making the shoes with them. So that's been like kind of like a nice collaboration and a learning curve for both of us, right? What are the needs of a fabric in order for them to actually make a functional shoe? So that's another thing that we are exploring. And besides, like accessories and, the shoes, we also have the pillows that Sigi was showing. They're just like very beautiful, simple, and they're like beautiful accents for the house. What else? We are also another thing that we're exploring. I don't know if you guys can see these very well, pretty far away. But we are exploring with like wearable garments with the felting. And we are not there yet, but we're very close. Sigi and Ashley are actually making a really good job on making these clothing, like these material, like wearable, right? So here you can see the very, iconic EILEEN Fisher kimono, right? She started her whole company based on the beauty of the kimono. So we're really trying to make these, as classic as EILEEN Fisher it is, and then just the beauty of the pattern on it. And these are actually reversible. You can actually reverse it and wear it in both sides. So that's basically in a nutshell kind of what we do here. We're very just like exploring like what are the different options that we can design with these materials. And actually working with felt is kind of working with leather, because the different thicknesses really influence the functionality of our materials. So now the next part will be really just for you guys to go and see how Sigi really works her magic in the felting machine. So I'm gonna put my mask on and I'm gonna take you guys to the felting machine. And actually I wanna show you a corner that we really love is, it's like this bench with a very worn EILEEN Fisher top and a beautiful wall hanging. I think this is just a corner that we just love here at the studio. And now I'm gonna bring you to Sigi and Abby, which I'm behind you guys, to our felting machine.
Want to give a little peek into this huge perspective? It's okay. Just
yeah. So this is kind of our inventory, right?
Yeah, it looks messy. Just show the perspective. It's
fine. Okay. So here are the famous China room. We call it a China room because this machine came from China. And okay, back to you, Sigi.
Can I see the machine?
Yep.
Okay, so what we do here is we're showing for the first time this machine from the front and from the back. This is, in the beginning, this was a dragon and a very daunting piece. It is, it's an industrial needle felting machine that is directed by a computer, and it's quite sophisticated and complicated to use because there are millions of combinations of settings that we have all made ourselves familiar in the past 2 years since we have this machine. I'm just making a demonstration of how it enters and what I have here, but I just want to explain that it's easier than it looks, because it's not that you just feed some old clothes in the front and out comes the fabric in the back. We have done a lot of immersion into studying the different results and how the fabric behaves with this treatment, and how and we have developed ways to make a structurally viable, or is it viable? What's the word? A structurally pliable fabric. Okay, so here a demo piece. I put some sleeves on there. As Carmen has mentioned, we're using deconstructed garments. They become the mere material again, right? And we're using, by the way, each little scrap. We're trying to take waste no more as literal as we can. So these little snaps and cutoffs, in the end, are our design elements. But here I have some sleeves that I put on an existing base layer, and I run it through the machine. So it's loose right now. I can't lift it up to show you. It's going to be very noisy, by the way. Yeah. Oh.
All right. That's all we have.
Incredible.
Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you letting us participate in this.
This is such an amazing journey. I'm so nostalgic, guys. It's unbelievable. I wanted to add one thing, Sigi, because when we did the second exhibition in Milan at Rosanna Orlandi, we choose to do everything white on white on white. And when we actually had hung the exhibition, you talked with me and you said, and it was so true, that actually through the white on white, you could see all the different handwritings you could obtain by this technique. And that, you know, small scraps or bigger pieces or transparencies and so on. So it was really like a painter, you know, having the different brush strokes and the different facture. So I think the facture is very important in this work. And it relates, of course, to the abstraction of it. But it's getting far, I can see now. And wonderful that people can also buy small cushions and stuff just to have the art in their house. It's amazing. Many people are asking, you know, what is the technique? It's needle punching, felting. People ask, what is it knit or woven? It's both. It's all fiber except synthetic. That's it, no? That's the sort of the recipe. But of course, it's the artistry which makes this work.
Yeah, I was just going to add that, you know, Sigi is a painter by training. And so when she's doing the compositions with her team, it's really like painting backwards in layers. And so it's actually a very difficult process and an art form that has been perfected. What is it now, nine years that you've been doing this, or 6?
Oh, no. We started the recycle program 9 years ago.
Right.
We're doing this since 4 years. 2018, Milan, 2017. Yeah.
Yeah, about 4 years of perfecting and experimenting. So one of the other comments that we had was that normally fashion brands are also secretive, and they're very grateful that you've been so generous to open up your factory like this. And I think that it shows how contemporary EILEEN and the team are, and also how much you're open to collaboration and working with architects and designers to use up this fabric that you're taking responsibility for. So thank you.
Yeah, I find the public space projects amazing. The big blue wall, my God, it's like being underwater. It's really beautiful.
100 square feet wall.
Yeah, incredible. Very, very beautiful work. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sigi and everybody, for being there on a Saturday.